Welcome back, live from Jess King's World on my hip hop ish. We present to you Dope Read. Dope Read is a collection of books that we are reading that is designed to elevate your mind and thought process and to get you to your better self, your higher self. We are still reading 2 Chainz book, which is called The Voice in My Head is God. This is a very good book. We are going into chapter 18. If I die, bury me inside the Louie store. That's from one of his songs. All right, here we go. In the 7th grade, I went to Gresham Park Elementary School. I was staying in Decatur at the Misty Waters Apartments off Canlan Road and took the bus to school. I used to get fresh on Fridays. Every Friday, I would wear the same red polo. It was a long sleeve with the navy blue man. Polo was my thing. I only had 2 of them at the time, but the red one was my favorite. I felt invincible when I wore that damn shirt. I mixed up the pants a little bit. I might go khaki, might go blue jean. No matter what else was going on with my outfit, I was coming with that red motherfucker every Friday. I used to look at my peers like, what the hell y'all wearing? Y'all shirts got collars all bent up, old bacon neck ass collars. Not me, I had to be fresh. This was around the time I started getting into fashion and how clothes made me feel. I used to lay out my clothes the night before. Whenever summer break was almost over, man, the first day of school couldn't come quick enough for me. I spent the summer stacking up my clothes, knowing I was about to put some stuff together once the school year started. I was a hustle when it came to getting new clothes. I go around to my grandmother's house and try to get them to buy me some shoes. Then I hit up my uncle and have him buy me a coat. Putting different arrangements together and making it all work was the fun part. I would just make things work and put piece outfits together. Your average person might see a certain shirt, pants, shoes, but not fully imagine how they could work together because they don't naturally blend. Me, even in the 7th grade, I could see an outfit coming together in my mind before trying the clothes on. Fashion is very much part of who I am. My 7th grade fashion sensibility has stayed with me. Today I pick my outfits out depending on where I'm performing, whether it's Vegas or Chicago. I know what a Houston vibe should feel like. I know what a Miami vibe should feel like. I pick out my shoes depending on how long I'll be on stage. It's a whole thing with me. It's a culture, fashion. It's my armor. It's my energy. It's my charge. It's my reset. My voice often tells me what to put on. But it's so tricky sometimes because, man, I'll try and outsmart some shit, try to teach people about how the fashion thing works without hurting them too hard. I really be wearing shit according to the region I'm in, the city I'm in, and the size of the show. Say, for instance, I'm set to perform in a city that don't have a Balenciaga store. I will probably wear some Balenciaga because I know they can't get it there. Wherever I go, I'm going to come with something hard. And sometimes I go over the top. I'm always going to push the envelope. I definitely dress according to what day of the week it is. My whole process is voice-based, down to the cologne I put on. I have never put on any cologne for any reason. I'm not lazy like that. It all has to come from inspiration and thought out. The clothes I wear are a representation of me and how I prefer to introduce myself to the world around me. I literally see my closet in my head before I even get to it. The voice in my head is like, you can get that, and then you can take that and put that with that. It's really crazy. Even when it comes to my wardrobe person who shops for me, I tell them, you didn't see that, did you? You didn't know I was coming like that, did you? And he'll be like, hell no, I didn't even see that pairing together like that. Everything be thought out, felt out, and strategic. Just tonight, the Hawks played the Pistons at State Farm Arena. I threw on Louie jeans and Louie shoes and a Supreme shirt with the Hawks jacket. I like my outfit, but I do have better Louie. I went soft Louie tonight. I went light Louie. I went diet Louie. My voice told me I didn't need to really put on like that for the game. I knew I was going to be seen either way, but every fashion situation is different. I had already expected there would be empty seats before getting to the game. My voice told me what kind of vibe it would be. No disrespect, but had the Hawks been playing the Lakers, I would have worn something different. Let's say I'm attending a Lakers-Warriors game. That's going to be different. When I go to the game like that, I probably have on 7, 8, or 9, even 10,000 worth of clothes. It depends on the team. It's that well thought out. I never wake up and think, let me just wear this today. No, it's more thought out and more of a feel thing. I have plenty of clothes. I probably have 8 closets in different states. I have 1 in Florida, 5 in Atlanta, and 2 in LA. I can see them all in my head down to each rack. I have Balenciaga racks, Bottega racks, Prada racks, Gallery racks, Rick Owens racks. The list goes on. At any given time, I can see every detail in every closet. I can see everything that's in all of them shits, even when I'm not there. I remember early in my career, I had to do New York Summer Jam for Hot 97. If you don't know anything about Summer Jam, it's a big event. Thousands of people, huge stage. I love being on stage. It's my comfort zone. It's one of the most comfortable places for me. I remember doing interviews in the back before the show. I was getting into my zone, getting geared up to put on a great performance. One of the guys who worked for the label came in and said, Chainz. And then I thought I heard him say, it's about 15,000 people out there. I was like, okay, cool. When I went out there to do the show, I could tell there wasn't 15,000 people. I was pissed. After the show, I got off stage and the same guy was like, yo, what did you think, man? I was like, I'm mad as hell. He was like, why you mad? I thought it sounded great. I said, because you said 15,000 people was out there, but it really was more like 50,000. Had I known that, I would have wore a different outfit. I could turn my fashion up or down at any point. Even my turn down is calculated. My son had a basketball game. My inner dialogue might say, it's going to be the same parents and hardworking. It's going to be some same parents and hardworking folks up in there. Don't go in there creating too much distraction. For something like that, I might wear some Halo ones and a Nike Tech. Definitely sleeves long enough to cover all my expensive ass bracelets. I rarely take my bracelets off. I can actually sleep with them. My airport attire is dressed down, but it's different kind of dressed down. At the airport, I never know who I might run into or how much time I might have to sleep on the plane. I might do something like Balenciaga nylons with the all-black hoodie, mask, black Balenciaga shades, and comfortable shoes. I save big outfits for big events like big award shows, the Super Bowl, and All-Star Weekend. It gets so serious, man. When I go to the gym, I actually try to be one of the bummiest, non-matching, mixed match wearing person in there. People will literally come up to be like, is that you? You 2 Chainz? Man, it can't be. I ain't never seen you look like this. People will be in there with their matching Nike and Under Armour tech shit on. Not me. I'm in the gym mixed matching. It gives me a good excuse to lock into my workout or not interact too much with the public. I'm just working out, man. I don't even normally take pictures looking like this. I'm just trying to be low key. I might even wear pajama pants. I ain't playing. I don't care what my shoes. I don't care about my shoes. Might have on some basic Yeezys or Nike Vapors. Something unassuming. My buddies I work out with usually have on matching neon tops and bottoms. I'm not coming like that to the gym. I could if I wanted to. I don't want to. In terms of fashion, my intuition plays a role in who I work with, collaborate with, share any ideas with. Upon meeting Ye, we would talk on the phone for hours, just getting to know each other. We had so many things in common. And when I eventually started working with good music, he brought in a lot of resources to help me bring my dreams and goals into fruition. Some of the people Ye brought into the table were Virgil, Matthew Williams, Jerry Lorenzo, and a bunch of other guys. I remember going to brainstorm in a room with everyone. There was a bunch of symbols on the wall. It all looked like hieroglyphics. That's how it looked. There were all these different symbols and explanations of what they meant. The wall also had these iconic album covers. I remember we just talked about what we were going to do for my first album cover based on a true story. It was like a creative think tank of meeting at some point. Virgil pulled out Bruce Springsteen's Born in the USA album cover. He was like, you see how iconic this is with the bandana coming out the pocket? The cover is extremely simple but iconic. Flag, stripes in the background, and Springsteen just kind of standing there like a fucking boss with his back turned. 2 or 3 weeks later, we shot the cover for my album. Virgil and Fabian Montigui were the photographers. We did the shoot, looked at the photos, brainstormed, and then created one of the most iconic album covers of the past 10 to 20 years. Shit, they need to hang it in the Louie. There are 2 gold chains in front of an all-black background, self-explanatory but iconic at the same time. I couldn't have been more pleased with the way everything turned out. When I first met Virgil, something told me we create magic together, and we did. We created a lot of magic in the time we were able to work together. Man, we all miss Virgil. Super creative dude and a real architect. May he rest in peace. A few years ago, I got a call from a guy named Sally Bembry. He worked with Ye before too, but I didn't know him when they worked together. He called me because he was collaborating with Versace and wanted to work with me on a project. He was working on a shoe called Chain Reaction, and they used the same chain for my album cover as the sole of the shoe. I talked to Soleil for a few hours before I felt he was a cool dude who I wanted to work with. Something told me he was creative and passionate about what he was trying to do. We went on to make our iconic shoe with Versace. We have a great relationship today. He's doing big things with New Balance, Crocs, and a few other brands. He's one of the people I respect creatively, and I'm thankful he reached out. I'm thankful we still collaborate and friends. He actually designed my Rap or Go to the League charm that I wear. One of the things I discovered when I was trapping was that different traps had different attires. Southside niggas would wear the most bummiest niggas, would be the most bummiest niggas in the world because they didn't want no attention. To this day, I got 2 or 3 homeboys that got a Bentley and only drive it for special occasions. They do the same thing with clothes. Dress like a bum unless it's their girl's birthday or something. They'll put on a nice outfit and pull out the Bentley for that. But as soon as the celebration's over, they're putting that bummy shit back on. I remember trapping downtown in Pittsburgh, and the niggas that way had Cartier glasses on, the Dion's, all kind of expensive designers. I would be down there looking homeless. That's how downtown Atlanta was back then. Anytime somebody break into a train and steal something from a store, the boosters would take it downtown. That's where all the guys was getting all the designer stuff from. They'll get it from the boosters, put it on, and then go out. They were living life a bit more on the edge. I found myself campaigning with them a little bit more because they were driving whatever they wanted and going out more than Southside niggas. Dollar told me once, man, listen, you're not going to keep goddamn walking around with all the jewelry on all the time. I've been wearing jewelry my whole life. There's a picture of me in the 8th grade wearing 2 chains, which we used to use for the So Help Me God album cover. I used to go downtown to the flea market to buy my jewelry. I was influenced by my uncle who used to have jewelry stacked on like Mr. T. Wearing jewelry was something I've always done, but my nigga Dollar told me one day, for real tit, you gotta take that jewelry off. You hot as a motherfucker. You can't keep walking around here like that. I would be walking into crack houses with chains on. I had to learn how to not stand out when I didn't need to. Clubs used to be in plazas back then. They wouldn't be alone. They would be attached to a Kroger or something. As a young nigga, before I could even walk into a club, I sit in the parking lot and watch cars pull up. I watched the people walk inside. One night a Benz pulled up, parked in front of the club. A tall, bald nigga hopped out. I can almost see the car in my head. It was a white Benz coupe. I was too young to know what kind of Benz it was, but I remember the impression it left on me. Ever since that night, I've been on some more type of shit. More money, more trips, more fashion, more God, more love. I made a promise to myself to not just settle for anything. The scene that night is still cinematic in my head, almost like some movie type shit. The white Benz pulled up almost in slow motion. I mean, he might have been driving slowly because the strip mall had speed bumps, but that shit still felt like a movie. Remember how Kane pulled up to the barbecue in Mensa Society? He was riding slow in that 5.0 with the Daytons on it, driving like he knew the whole damn world was watching. That's how the Benz was moving, almost like he knew I was watching, and that's the moment that changed me. The Benz had chrome rims, and the tires had that super black wet shine. Man, I couldn't stop watching. The tall, bald nigga gave the keys to the valet and walked to the club. He could have been a ball player, could have been a trapper. I'll never know and never saw him again. Something inside of me did change that night, though. My voice told me I could and I would have everything I wanted in life. No desire was too big. No Louie designer belt too small. Yeah, for sure. I respect that, Chainz. I respect that. I can relate to some of that. I'm not a big designer person. Like, I really can care less about what I got on. Only time I care like that is if I'm going out. I'm going somewhere special. I'll put something on. But for the most part, if I'm working, like throughout the week, I'm wearing the same hoodies that I wear every day. Same hoodies, same shirts, same pants, because I'm hustling, I'm working. But when it's time for me to go out, I'm putting something on, something nice on. That's how I've always been, except for high school. High school, like 10th grade, after 10th grade, I wanted to dress nice every day. That's just what it was back then. But now, I don't really care. I don't really care what I got on again, unless I go out, then I'm going to put something on to impress because I know I'm stepping outside. Understand? Listen, if you made it this far in the video, let us know what you thought about this chapter. Leave a fire down in the comments, and we off to the next one.